In this video, we're going to try to learn what's happening in the variables in our dataset. Descriptive statistics can help with this goal. Statistics can help us distill large numbers of observations into manageable and intuitive quantities. One of the things that we often want to do is to learn about the distribution of a variable. This will tell us how observations cluster together, as well as which values in a particular variable are more common and which ones are less common across the whole sample. This also allows us to communicate essential information about our observations and variables to our audience. For nominal and ordinal data, those data we would call categorical or qualitative, frequency distributions can be very illuminating. A frequency distribution shows all of the possible values of the variable and the number of observations that have each value. Usually, the frequency distribution has a few different components. The first is the raw frequency. This is the total number of observations in each of the variable's categories. The relative frequency gives the proportion of observations in each category. This is the total number in each category divided by the total number across all categories. You'll know if a value is a proportion or not because proportions must be in the interval between 0 and 1, and proportions for mutually exclusive and exhaustive categories must all sum to 1. Mutually exclusive simply means that an observation can only be in one category, and exhaustive means that there are no observations in other categories that are not represented in the frequency distribution. If we are making a frequency distribution of a single variable, this will generally be the case. Percentages are just proportions multiplied by 100, so where proportions should sum to 1, percentages should sum to 100. Generally, we represent frequencies in a frequency distribution table. In this table, you can see that we're summarizing the gender variable from the 2006 Canadian Census. You can see that there are just over 16.1 million women and nearly 15.5 million males in Canada. The percentage of women is just the proportion, which would be the number of females divided by the total number in the population, which is 0.5105, multiplied by 100 to make it into a percentage, which would be 51.05%. In this example, there are also cumulative frequencies and cumulative percentages. These values add to the current value all of the frequencies or percentages for prior categories in the table. So the cumulative frequencies for males adds to the male frequency the frequency of the prior category, in this case females. We learn from this table that there are slightly more women than men in Canada in 2006. Now you try.